I would like to welcome everyone back to So-Called Experts. Today, I got another thing on my mind that I want to talk about, and this goes out to all of you fans out there. We're going to leave the athletes alone today. We're going to talk about the fans. I got a big beef with some of the fans out there right now. The thing that gets to me that I just cannot understand is fans who leave a game early. I understand certain situations your team might get in their butts kicked. And I get that. It's hard to watch your team getting smacked up and down the field. But there are some examples of some great comebacks in sports. If there's something that us sports fans love is comebacks. Is that last 2-minute drill where a team's coming back, or that last inning where a team's putting up a late game rally. We all love that. So why, if your team's getting their butts kicked, would you leave early and risk missing it? I was watching something on TV the other day that was talking about some of the greatest comebacks of all time. And if anyone remembers, the greatest comeback in NFL history is the Bills against the Oilers, a playoff game. The Bills were down by like 32, 33 points going into the second half, if not the fourth quarter. And fans, it was in Buffalo, fans were just leaving, getting in their cars, driving away. And the stories are, as they're driving away, they're listening to the radio, and they start hearing, the Bills scored a touchdown, scored another touchdown. So now the fans turn their cars around and try to come back in the game. But as you fans know, there's no re-entrance to a game. So they were not allowed in, but you have stories of fans jumping their car or jumping fences, trying to get back in, right? If you're a Bills fan and you left early that day and missed the greatest comeback in NFL history, should your sports fan card not be revoked? I mean, we talk about man cards getting revoked. If you're a snitch, take away your man card. You know what I mean? If you order girly drinks when you're out with the fellas, boom, take away your man card. So as a fan, if you leave early during a game, take away your fan card. Because I put it to you like this: when I go to a game, I know I set aside those 3 hours to watch the game. I make no other plans. Not only 3 hours, but you got those hours before the game where you're tailgating, and those hours after the game where you're tailgating and just waiting for traffic to clear up so you can take off. So what are you in such a hurry to leave for? I get it, like I said, your team's getting their butts kicked, you don't want to watch it. But what if there's that chance that they come back? I mean, in baseball, there was this game about 10 years ago. The Indians are down by 12. And can you imagine, they put on this late game rally going into like the 7th or 8th inning to come back. Again, imagine if you were not there for that. I remember the highlights of that game, watching it on the sports show, and there's only like hundreds of people left in the stands. And I can just imagine being one of those people in ecstasy, watching my team pull off this miraculous comeback. And those people that are gone, here's the thing about those people, is I guarantee you, those people that left early are at work the next day talking about, because their friends know they went to the game. Their friends are like, dude, you were there for that. And I guarantee those people are at work like, yeah, I seen it. I couldn't believe it. I was the loudest one cheering my team on. BS. If you went there, be real and get your fan card revoked. I can tell one personal story. I was, as you can see, A's fan right here. I went to Boston last year to go watch the A's play in Fenway. For any sports fans out there, that's a must go. You gotta go to Boston. You gotta go to Fenway. I've been to hundreds of baseball games, and that was probably the best experience I've ever had. The atmosphere in Boston was ridiculous. But going into the ninth inning of the game, the A's are down by 4. Now, if you know the A's, I'll be nice and I'll say we're in a rebuilding stage right now. So last year we averaged less than 4 runs a game for the whole season, for a whole game. Now, going into the 9th inning, we had like 3 runs. So in 8 innings, we scored 3 runs. Now the Red Sox are bringing in their closer, who is one of the best closers, Jonathan Papelbon in baseball, and we're down by 4. That could have easily been my time to leave and get out of there and beat traffic, get out of there before traffic. But I stayed, and guess what happened? I was rewarded with a 4-run rally in the 9th inning of Jonathan Papelbon that resulted in him getting the boot. He was complaining to the umpire, gave him the boot. Then Jason Varitek started complaining. Umpire said, "You're out of here too." Guess what? Most exciting 9th inning I've ever seen in my life. Now, sad story, we ended up losing the game in extra innings. It went to like 14 innings, we ended up losing. But still, I would not trade that ninth inning experience for anything. I'm glad I stayed. The only time I can give you fans a break for leaving early is, I'll put it to you like this. If your team is still out there trying, let's say it's football or basketball, for example, right? And your team is still out there fouling, sending the other team to the free throw line, then you cannot leave. The only time it's okay for you to leave is when your coach throws in the towel. When your coach tells your team to stop fouling and just let them run out the clock, that's your team throwing in the towel. At that point, they're obviously not trying to win. As a fan, I guess it's okay to leave because your team ain't trying, then there's no reason for you to stay. But as long as your team is fouling, as long as in football, if your team, before the victory formation, which if you don't know, the victory formation is when the quarterback takes a knee. Before the victory formation, you're not allowed to leave. And especially in baseball, which baseball is the greatest sport in the world, you're never allowed to leave in a baseball game because, as we all know, baseball is the one team sport where there's no clock. There's no time limit. You don't have to come back, within a certain amount of time. You don't have a 24-second shot clock. You don't have a 2-minute drill where you need to come back. You have 27 outs to score as many runs as possible. So until that 27th out is made, there is always a chance that you can come back. So for all you fans out there, remember that the next time you go to a game, clear your schedule and be prepared to sit there through the entire game. For all you fans out there, keep watching. Don't forget to support your troops. Follow me on Facebook, on YouTube, So-Called Experts, and we're out.